previously on Gearz.
Look at the world of motorsport this afternoon. We're going to start off with MotoGP. It is the final round of the MotoGP season. Moto2, Moto3 as well at Valencia this coming weekend. It's a bit wet at the moment. Good news in Moto3 is our very own Brad Binder was 7th on the timesheets, free practice 1 at present. So that was a little bit earlier. And MotoGP has finished just a short while ago. First free practice. Nicky Hayden on the Ducati was the quickest. So Ducati has had such a very, very difficult season. So I'm sure that the Ducati riders will be hoping for a little bit of rain. Also, it'll be the last race for Valentino Rossi on a Ducati as he moves back to Yamaha next year. So Hayden was quickest from Pedrosa, Lorenzo, Andrea De Vizioso, Alvaro Batista, Alex Espargaro, Valentino Rossi, Carl Crutchlow, Randy De Punier, and Casey Stoner rounding out the top 10. That's MotoGP. Don't miss it. It's going to be all live on Supersport this coming weekend as well. Let's move on to DTM. I mentioned it on Wednesday when we were here. Alex Zanardi completed his test in the DTM, winning BMW, all part of the 40th anniversary celebration of BMW's Motorsport division. Now, Alex Zanardi actually raced for BMW, but in the World Touring Cars a few years ago, even with his 2 amputated legs. And he actually even won a race, which is quite spectacular. Zanardi had this to say: "I'm overjoyed to have been given the opportunity to drive the BMW today. There were a number of changes, of course, that had to be made to the car to make it possible. They were sort of suitable for a test, but they wouldn't be suitable under race conditions. But it did allow Alex Zanardi to actually compete and finish that test." He says, "As we've seen today, the challenge of driving the technically complex BMW M3 DTM also proved to be no obstacle for him." How cool is that? Well done, Alex Zanardi. Then moving into the world of Formula One, McLaren boss Martin Whitmarsh. And this is such a contradiction, it's unbelievable. They've signed Sergio Perez, and when they signed Sergio Perez, they said, Perez is ready, he's definitely right up there, we can't wait to have him in the car. Then, all of a sudden, since he's been signed, he's had quite a few accidents, a bit of rough driving as well. Now the team boss, Martin Whitmarsh, says, admitted there is an element of risk to signing Sergio Perez. Very, very peculiar. Other news, the Abu Dhabi Young Drivers Test yesterday was the final day, and it was great to see this. Davide Valsecchi was quickest. Now, he is the GP2 champion, and he hasn't really been signaled to be joining any of the F1 teams. And I posed the question the other day, then what is the point of having GP2 if you win the championship and you don't go up to Formula One? Because this is the official feeder series. So, very peculiar. It would be nice to see Davide Valsecchi maybe even get a test drive role somewhere along the line. Kevin Magnussen for McLaren was second. Esteban Gutierrez, it looks as though he's going to be signed to Sauber. He was third. Robin Frins, he might make his way to Mauritius next year. He was fourth. Oliver Turvey for McLaren was fifth. Luis Razzia for Toro Rosso was sixth. And Alexander Rossi for the Caterham, he was seventh on the timesheets as well. Moving on to the world of superbikes, multiple Grand Prix world champion Max Biaggi has announced his retirement from motorcycle racing following a career that spanned 3 decades. 41-year-old Italian won his second world superbike title this year and has decided that he's had enough of the world of Formula One, superbikes. But very sad, but an incredible career that Max Biaggi as well. We mentioned on Wednesday as well, Tony Fernandez has announced that he is stepping down as the principal for the Caterham Formula One outfit, and Cyril Abitaboul has now been appointed as the CEO and also team principal for the Caterham team. Of course, they have a very good relationship with Renault as well. There is a lot of questions being asked about the legitimacy of the what they call the rubber Red Bull and the seemingly never-ending saga about the bendy Formula One cars is back in the media spotlight with 2 races to go. Is the FIA going to come out with any form of action against the Red Bull team, especially because of their front wing? Now, everyone, I suppose, is trying to find a way to make that car slower, but I just think it's just brilliant engineering from Adrian Newey. Germany's Autosport's und Sport journalist Tobias Grunner, however, thinks the controversy is a false alarm because the front 150 millimeters of the nose extremities are always made a little softer. So it might come to nothing, but we'll have to wait till they get to Austin next week for the penultimate Formula One Grand Prix race. There we go. That's a quick look at the world of Formula One.
At the next intersection, turn on Gearz with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.